Well, hello again, it's me, Gazbot, and that means it's time for a toy shot. That's right, Gazbot's Toy Shots, and we're here again today to talk about toys. Before I get into the new stuff, I wanted to mention a couple things I had picked up that I didn't show in previous videos. It was the other two Protectobots that I was missing from Combiner Wars, the Hasbro Transformers line, to create Defensor, which is the 5-part combining robot or gestalt, if you will. I had done a little video about when I picked them up, and that video has disappeared. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to show you the photos of the new vehicles that I didn't show you last time, and the robot form, and then together as Defensor, which I will do right now. And here you can see First Aid, who is one of the Protectobot combiners that I needed. He turns into a ambulance, and the other one I got was Streetwise, who turns into a police car. They were both $15, which is retail. I hadn't seen them at retail. I got them at Wizard World San Jose, where I was actually exhibiting in my other life as an artist. And that's them combined as Defensor, which is about the same height as Menasor, but much taller than the G1 version, which you could see here. In my opinion, the best of the modern Combined Wars gestalts, with the possible exception of Devastator. Okay, that's it for the old news. On with the new news. The big news this time around, I'm playing a keyboard, this time around is Big Bad Toy Store. Had a giant sale a couple weeks ago, and it was like, you know, everything on the site on sale. And it wasn't a super amazing sale. It seemed a lot better at first. And Q and I went through like hundreds of items that we were interested in, whittled it down, and she got a few things, I got a few things, and put it all together. And the sale prices, Big Bad is sort of mediocre when it comes to sales. It's good for pre-orders, for things from Japan and stuff like that to make sure you get them, but their retail price is often okay, sometimes a little high, and it seems like when it goes on sale, that's when their prices actually get decent. So some of the sale prices were just basically making it about retail, and some were a little bit better. But where you save with that is they're very good about combined shipping. So everything I got, everything Q got, we combined it all into one big old box, and actually I have the paperwork right here, and the shipping was $16, which sounds like a lot, but we got a lot of things, and one thing in particular I could have seen being $16 all by itself. So what did we get? Well, Q got a couple SH Figure Arts, Kamen Rider figures, and a few other things. What did I get? Alright, first thing I got was this guy. And what is this guy? Well, I didn't know either. He was about $6. He looked kind of like a Kamen Rider, so I decided to pick him up. The character name, I believe, is Impactor Logia. And the series had a couple different titles. I looked it up. It's like Grand Caesars or some variation there. There were a couple different iterations, a couple different translations. And what Grand Caesars were, essentially, was Toho, which is a big studio, and they teamed up with Konami, which is primarily known as a video game company. This was in around 2003 to create something to compete with the Super Sentai series that Toei had, and Super Sentai is Power Rangers in America. And it's been described, it's a live action, it's been described as sort of a cross between Super Sentai and the anime Saint Seiya. Because it involved like tribes, and I guess there was, you know, elemental things or zodiac things. Again, I haven't watched it, but this figure was $6, and what I think it is the retail version you'd find at Toys R Us in Japan. So it's not a collector's item in that sense. I mean, it's older, so it's a collector's item in that way, but their retail versions of toys in general are much higher quality than ours. And judging by the Kamen Riders and the Ultraman figures I saw when I was over there, this would have been like a $20 figure at the time. Then, I guess it didn't sell, and it wasn't very popular. I can see there, it says new lower price, 500 yen, which is just under $4. I paid about $6. But it's much better than a $6 figure you'd get here in America. And so I'm excited to check him out and open him up. So that was one. That was the second best score from the Big Bad Toy Store. What else did I get? Well, I got these guys. Who's he? He is Lion-O, Lord of the Thundercats. Now this is from the 2011 line. And he came in the package, but I've already opened him up. I'll throw up pictures at the end of him in the package. This was, unbeknownst to me, from Wave 2. I mean, I knew it was from Wave 2, rather, but it was from Series 2. And why that's important is, if you look, he has a shoulder pad here. Now, on the anime or the cartoon, he has this shoulder pad. But this gold one, he does not have. Also, his claw, the claw shield he wears, is enormous. And I couldn't figure it out, and then I realized, spoilers if you're going to watch the show, later in the season, he gets a gem that goes into this gauntlet that makes it power up and become like a big armored arm. And that's kind of what this version was, which I didn't realize, and I wouldn't have got if I realized. He's not a bad figure. He's got a bit of a snarl on his face, which I prefer he didn't. You know, he's supposed to be kind of a heroic good guy. I wasn't really looking for an anger face. But I got him, and he also, After the fact, I don't think I got the greatest deal. He was about $6, which isn't a terrible deal, like I said, but it's kind of what you could find him for elsewhere. So I didn't need to hurry up and buy him. I did save on the shipping, so there's that. This next Thundercat, though, this is Tygra, again, from the 2011 series. I really liked his design. He was my favorite redesign of the series, and this figure is much nicer. The whip's a little bit floppy, but, you know, he comes with the pistol and everything else. And I paid $2.38 for, and he was new in the package. So this was a great deal, and I don't regret this at all. Now, I wasn't planning on getting these figures. I've just recently watched the show, and I enjoyed it quite a bit, but they're not the greatest figures in the world. The reason I got them is I needed somebody to ride in the ThunderTank. That's right, the 2011 Thundercats ThunderTank. This was $11. Now, that's a pretty good deal. I've since seen it online for roughly the same price. Again, Big Bad kind of falling in line with other things. But where Big Bad wins again, combined shipping. Remember, I paid $16 shipping for everything I've shown you so far, things I haven't shown you, and everything Q got. So it means I paid like $1 shipping on this. And a big box like this, totally worth it. And it inspires me to want to get the rest of the Thundercats team, possibly getting a different version of Lion-O. But at least right now, we're looking good. Okay, so is that it? No. The one other thing I got. I did that, everything fell off the table over here. That's right, it's Gipsy Danger from Pacific Rim. This is from Nika, and this came out, I think a year ago, around the time of the movie. And Nika put out 6-inch versions, which haven't met with the best critical response because a lot of them have a tendency to break, despite being, like, decent looking. These big ones, though, have got nothing but good reviews, at least the ones I've seen. And this is the main character, Gipsy Danger. There was more than one version that's put out. There's one that has a plasma cannon. This is sort of the base model that actually has the chainsaw arms. So I'm pretty psyched. I've been wanting one of these since the movie came out, but almost immediately they were hyped up. You see them for $100 everywhere, or more. This one I got $67. Now that's expensive, but it lights up. It's, you know, what is it, 2 feet tall, I think? And it looks great, and it's going to go next to my Godzilla, and it's totally something I've been wanting forever. And this is the kind of thing that, like, my birthday's coming up, and I'm like, oh, I should put that on my birthday list, but I can't trust that it's going to say $67 for the next month or two, and I don't want somebody spending $100, $200 on this, because it's not worth that. $67 is Big Bad, and again, this is the shipping. This would cost $15, $20 to get shipped from eBay, Amazon, whatever. I got it $16 for everything you've seen, plus all the stuff that Q got. So, you know, Big Bad, you gotta pick your battles, but, you know, similar to the pile of loot, which I'll talk about in a future episode, that's where you can really do well. So, that was the main story. Secondary story, I did get another eBay auction. And what it is, look at that, it looks like nothing. It's another String Raider. It's another Sky Commander. I want to call them String Raiders because there was another 80s gimmicky thing called Air Raiders. This is not that. This is superior in my opinion, both as a toy and as a design and a concept. It's still goofy, still gimmicky, still 80s. But this is the Locust Raider, and you can see sort of a jet vehicle. And then this is the wire connectors. As I showed you in the other video how they look when they're all set up. Here's the figure with his lifeline. Now, I'd seen this boxed a few times and was trying to get it because I have one good guy main vehicle, one good guy little loose backpack version, one bad guy loose backpack version, and I wanted a bad guy vehicle to even out the, you know, feng shui of my Sky Commander setup. And this seemed like the perfect opposite to the good guy one I have. And if you notice, it even has a little launcher in here. I have to figure out how to use it, but it shoots the wire and stuff. But it kept being too much. I would look at it for, you know, 10, 15, 20, and then it would go like 30, 40, whatever. This one I found loose. Great condition, has all the stickers intact, you know, he has a little lifeline. A lot of times you see these guys, they don't have their lifelines. If you're interested at all, make sure they have their lifelines, because most of the time they don't. So it had all the pieces, bright colors, everything's great, and I think it was $20, but it had, you know, make an offer. So I made an offer for $15. Got it for $15. That's a great deal as far as I'm concerned, and it temporarily completes my Sky Commanders collection. I say that because I can see myself getting more, but it scratched the itch I had that fulfilled my current setup. Okay, it's getting a little long. I got one last thing. This is Sideswipe. This is the Toys R Us exclusive coloring, and this is Sideswipe from the current Robots in Disguise
Transformers series. Now, there has previously been a series called Robots in Disguise. This is a new one. A lot of people are angry or confused that they renamed it something that had been named, you know, I don't know, 10 years ago. And I agree it's an odd choice, but I guess they're figuring nobody's going to remember. It's sort of a spiritual, well, no, it's a direct sequel to Prime. They reference events in Transformers Prime. It's much more kid-friendly. Depending on if that's good or bad, you know, it's definitely not as mature. It's a different animation style. It's alright. It's no Prime, but it's alright. I don't have any figures from that line. Probably won't collect any because I don't like the designs as much. However, I do kind of like Sideswipe. He's got spiky hair. Maybe that has something to do with it. And this version, he's normally red, but this version, he's sort of blue and got some pinkish red highlights, which are Hugh's colors, my wife. So it was sort of a good blend of me and her in Transformer form, and it was a Toys R Us exclusive, so I didn't want to wait and see if it gets expensive. And more importantly, I like having a representation of each series and line, if I can, in my collection. There's a few I'm missing, but I knew I had to get at least one Robots in Disguise current, and Sideswipe will fill that gap. Whew, that was a lot this time, huh? Well, let's call it a day, and I'll see you next time for the next Gazbot Toy Shop! And you shoot. Can't make this shoot. Oh, there's a little handle. Oh, that's how you shoot it. Woo! I pulled it. And then thrill to the excitement of Sky Commanders as you reel in the winch and it